I'm gonna talk about the universal. Don't mind this motor. I damaged the fan blades when I was trying to pull it apart, but it's alright. It still spins. Like the universal motor, I check right now. I'm reading what it says about the universal. It says very similar to a DC motor, which we're talking about. So it is very similar to a DC motor. This is a 12-volt universal motor. Let me grab the power supply, which is actually the speaker that powers it. Right here, this one powers at 12/6, so it's a 12/6 volt universal motor, and it does have electromagnets which are in there. You just can't see them, and they're similar to these magnets. It's just very small, on a small scale. Let me fix the cable. Let's see, because it's powered by electro. It's very powerful. These guys right here have permanent magnets in my brushless DC motor. It has permanent magnet, and like the copper thing is the electromagnet, but this one right here has the electromagnet, and the stator right here is the outside thing. The metal thing is the stator. The rotor is that right here. You see that thing that's moving when I'm moving where my fingers are? That's the rotor. The rotor is an electromagnet, while the stator is also an electromagnet, which are used in universal motor. Like this one right here. The only downside about that, it uses a commutator plus brushes with EMI, limited lifespan, and so it has limited lifespan for such a motor. Its life and its lifespan. So that's the only downside for this motor. And the brush motor. Speaking of brush motor, let me grab it. Let me grab it, because I have three motors: brushless, brushed, and universal. The universal is just a bigger version. Like this one right here only requires 6 volts, which is actually a brushed motor. This one requires 5 to 6, but it's a 12-volt brushless motor. Let me turn on. But it can use half of it. This guy right here requires, I think this guy for the universal motor, because it does say it takes DC and AC. So the universal does take DC, but I think it probably takes 24 or 40 volts, depend. I think this one right here, this guy right here, I think this one takes 24 volts. Oh, it has a model number. It's hard to see, it's very dim. But this one was out of an air pump bed. Air pump, which has a blower shaped style. But I'm trying to take use this universal motor, so I have like a brown impeller fan, which I want to see if I could hook up to this. Like just rip this apart. But don't mind the blades are damaged, because I was trying to take it off, but I couldn't. So I'm just showing how it actually works. It still works with regular magnetism, but it's mostly electro. Yeah, I'm not boring you about this stuff. I'm just teaching you how these things actually work. See? The commutator is that thing in the middle. And the stator is the outside magnet. This one has electromagnet. And this one also has electromagnet too. It's very small. Yeah, it's in there. Just that's on a small scale. It's the brushless fan. Right here, the DC brushless fan has an electromagnet, and the outside making the fan spin has a permanent magnet. And same with the brushed motor. Let's see if I can disconnect this. That was a piece of the fan blade. I'm gonna show you. See right here? You see that copper thing inside? Let me show you. Zoom in right there. That right there is the rotor, and the vice versa. Like I think the right there, the stator is electromagnet, and the ring shape right there is the rotor right there is a permanent, and vice versa. In the brush motor, the stator is the permanent magnet, and the rotor is the electromagnet. But for this guy right here, the stator is electromagnet, while the rotor is also an electromagnet. Let me throw in a stepper motor. Let me see if I can grab my stepper motor. Right here, this one right here is a stepper motor, which is similar to the B. They said stepper motor is actually a special kind of brushless motor. So this guy right here, the stator is similar to this right here. It's true for BLDCs, which means brushless. But they said the stepper motor right here is a special kind of brushless DC motor. Regular brush motor. Let's see if I can disconnect it. Where's the fan? Right here. Trying to reconnect it. This one I use an IBM plug. There you go. At least it works now. But back to the universal motor. This guy right here, it has a limit in. Like if you run this very high on AC, it does take AC, which is from this used to be an air pump which had a plug, so it was AC. And just to let you know, I forgot. Just to let you know, I'm gonna write that in the comment for one of my my favorite YouTubers. So this one right here is the universal mode. I've never seen one before like this. Usually universal modes can be different, like in the picture in the background that I show you. Those you could find in like a washing machine. Power drills have these too. And I would say also, because I think hair dryers have universal modes. Yeah, hair dryers have these, which are also universal motor. Vacuum cleaners, including the portable ones, have these too. They're also used for power drills and angle grinders, which YouTubers, tell me what an angle grinder is in the comment description below, because I don't even know what those are. Like, comment, subscribe to daily and weekly videos. Alright.